Okay, gonna come back here and talk about some more books for your apocalyptic library. I brought out a book that I had in the other two because I got the other Tom Brown book out, so I just wanted to show them to you side by side, because sometimes you look at those books and you think, do I have that one already or whatnot, you know. So I brought out the one from previous on survival, or maybe it was Bushcraft, I don't remember. Alright, so got the brown mug. Made by Aladdin. So you always gotta have plenty of coffee, right? So thermal mug. And there we go. Alright, so I'm gonna just have a seat here and we're gonna talk about these books. So as I talked about before in another video about books for your apocalyptic library, the reason why you want books on hand is because if you're no longer around, let's say you are a survival expert or you are a bushcraft expert, right? I don't generally like to use that word because you can go your whole life and still be learning bushcraft and new elements of survival, right? So I consider myself proficient, you know, maybe more than proficient, but I think that I do well. You know, I've forgotten a lot of things, but when you're not doing things all the time anymore, then you do tend to forget some stuff because it's a perishable skill. So that's another thing. If you're not doing it all the time, you could still pick up a book or two on whatever the subject matter is that you're wanting to brush up on. It jogged those old memories, right? Some things like bow drill, though, you know, that's a perishable skill. You got to just get out and do bow drill every now and then. But I know exactly how to make it happen in my mind. So even though my skill, I can't get a bow drill fire in maybe 7 seconds, you know, but I could get a bow drill fire, right? So, well, so who could get a bow drill fire in 7 seconds? Charles Brewer, seen him get a bow drill fire in about 7 seconds. That's right. No kidding. Got a coal? Well, he got a coal in about 7 seconds. So that sort of skill is possible. Alright, so I'm going to start out with these from the last videos, talking about Tom Brown, a couple of different books. We talk about bushcraft and survival as two different disciplines but connected. Okay, bushcraft being the necessary skills. You know, the more bushcraft skills you have, the easier it will be for you to survive in a survival situation. In survival, when we talk about survival is the application, mostly is the application of bushcraft skills in a survival situation. However, there is a I can't think of the word. Anyway, the thing is that with survival, you're going to have things that are not necessarily skills. They're just things that you know that work, right, to make a certain thing happen. Like I brought up a 9-volt battery with steel wool. You touch the 9-volt battery to steel wool, and it will glow red. And if you have very feathery light tinder there, you can get a fire going with that, right? So these are like these are skills that are not bushcraft. Okay, so we call these survival skills. I mean, you could do the same thing with your angle head flashlight from the military. I remember seeing John Wiseman, aka Lofty, right? I remember seeing him take an angle head flashlight, and I think if I remember right, he took the reflector out of the light, and he started a fire with that with some steel wool. But I can't remember. I mean, you'd have to find it wherever. I'm sure it's on the internet. Just look it up, right? Biggest encyclopedia ever. So I saw him do that. There's so many things that you can do that doesn't have anything to do with nature, doesn't have anything to do with bushcraft, right? But it does have to do with survival craft, right? So they're kind of two different disciplines, but they're connected. Now, I was talking about Tom Brown's books, right? So the two that I say are good, right? A lot of the other ones are just like his stories and his philosophies and whatnot, and all that jazz, right? But these two are, if you're a nuts and bolts type of guy, get into show me how to make fire with a bow drill, or show me how to skin an animal, or show me how to tan an animal hide, or something like that, right? Something that you get hands on. Then these are the two that it boils down to. And so I got these backwards. So this one is your bushcraft over here, okay? And this one is called Tom Brown's Field Guide, Living with the Earth, okay? This is your bushcraft skills. And then this one over here is your survival skills, right? And it says Tom Brown's Field Guide to Wilderness Survival, right? So there you go. You just pause your video and you can, get a look close up on those two, and if you want. Some people never like Tom Brown. I'm a person that I do not. I'm not going to judge somebody on their personal belief systems or anything like that. I'm going to judge somebody on what they could do, right? So Tom Brown has had a lot of good students come out of his school. He's had a lot of good instructors out of that school, the Tracker School, in the past as well. And Tom Brown Jr. has now passed away last year. Now, I don't normally like to talk bad about people or stuff, somebody's work, right? I just, just kind of, well, okay, yeah. But this particular book, now I bought this book. I'm gonna admit that I bought this book sight unseen, right? I thought it was gonna be good because it is a Knowles book, N-O-L-S, right? Knowles, and that's the National Outdoor Leadership School. The reason why I thought it was going to be good is because Knowles has been around for a long time, and they have been kind of a leader in outdoors education and so on. I mean, there's a few different organizations out there that have been kind of around a long time and in that capacity. But I I thought that this book was going to be great, but it's not. It's called Noel's Winter Camping. Now, I don't normally say don't buy this book, but I'm just going to tell you, don't buy this book. So, I'm sure it had, you know, some stuff relevant, some stuff's not relevant. You know, some stuff. Anyway, the thing is I started looking through this, and I was originally looking through this for people down the road reading it, right? Not for me, but people down the road reading it, you know, in an apocalyptic situation. But I started looking at this book, and as you can see, I got all this stuff in here highlighted and notes and whatnot. And I just got tired. I think I had some stuff highlighted back here. I just got tired of the book because it had so many things in here that just aren't good. They either aren't good or they just aren't relevant anymore. And you know, and the information that's just not viable, some of this information in here is not viable, right? I mean, they talk about temperature ratings and Gore-Tex and this and that, and a lot of stuff that could just be passed over, you know. Anyway, Noel's Winter Camping. I say don't buy that book. I only brought it out because I have a couple of winter specific books here. I'm going to be coming back in another video because I'm already running out of time, because these kind of like sit down, talk about books, not necessarily reviews, but just kind of overviews. They take time. Now, I'd heard for years about this book, okay, Snow Walker's Companion. Now, I know a lot of people love this book, okay, they love this book, but I think it's an okay book. But the thing is that some of the stuff in here I don't necessarily agree with. It kind of, you know, it's got some good stuff in it, but then it's got some stuff in here that, you know, kind of is a take on somebody's philosophy or somebody's nature groovy outlook on something. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, like on the back of the cover, here they are, you know, this couple, you know, I think one's passed away now. Here they are on the back cover, these gigantic toboggans and whatnot. They're slogging across, you know, Canada here somewhere with these giant toboggans. And, you know, I understand walking with a by the way, there's the book. Pretty sure it's out of print. Alright, so we got about a minute. So they're slogging across the back country here in the Boreal, probably up in Canada, I imagine. And I believe it's fine to have a pulk in winter, moving your, you know, having a very light to mid-weight ruck on and having the majority of your kit in a pulk, you know, but having a gigantic toboggan and trekking who knows how far across the wilderness with that, pulling that crap by yourself. Man, there's a reason why Inuit used dogs, right? And the Sami are using reindeer, okay? So you don't have to. not just a hat rack. You know, you got to think about these things. I'm not picking on that whole thing, you know, but you know, you can only do that sort of thing if you're super fit, and you're only going to be able to be super fit for so many years of your life, right? So you got to start thinking about using things like dogs, okay, Samoyeds, Malamutes, Huskies, you know, and all those types of dogs. Akita's one of my favorite dogs. An Akita is a working dog, and it can be used for sledding as well. Anyway, come back in another one. See you there.